obvious is just it's better to form good habits than to change bad habits later in life.
Yeah.
And I just think that there are many aspects of finance where if you think it through, you realize you're better off if you started young. Not just
Mm-hmm.
because money grows and you want to start when you're young, but also you want to be ahead of problems and avoid problems such as, excessive college debt
Mm-hmm.
or not being able to get and hold a good job because obviously you need income and growing income to save. So,
Right.
I had been an engineer for 13 years and then I was an analyst and portfolio manager for about 21. And so I'm kind of this analytical, kind of
Mm-hmm.
black and white person. I like to operate within a certain framework. And then when I transitioned to finance, I was on the investment side. I worked for a large money manager. But at the tail end of those 21 years of being an analyst, I really started to focus more on a concern that people weren't saving. I was on the investment side,
Yes.
but I was
Mm-hmm.
more worried people weren't saving, and you have to save before you can invest.
Right.
So then the engineer in me kind of said, well, how can we create a framework that's kind of unique compared to
Mm-hmm.
what's out there on platforms? And I started to realize that the reason a lot of people aren't saving is because they're in no position to save. They do have this excessive college debt, or they just
Mm-hmm.
can't get and hold a good job in today's changing world. And I started to realize, wow, to solve those problems or to head them off and prevent them, I need to be talking, way upstream to a very young audience. So
Yeah.
my
Wow, I
target
never
audience
thought
is
about it that
really
way.
my
Mm-hmm.
target audience is really kind of the high school kid and young adults, young professionals, and also engaging their parents. So,
Mm-hmm.
like my book is really a conversation with the parent saying,
Mm-hmm.
this is the critical message we got to get to your kids. Let's team up. And pretend you're kind of sitting in the back of the classroom listening to this message. This is what I'd like to get to your kids. Help me get the message to the kids. So the kids
Mm-hmm.
could read the book, but then there's some downloadable audio lessons really more suited for the kids. It's the same message as the book, but it's more
Oh
the
yeah.
story based side and a little bit
Mm-hmm.
less of the structure. But I'm really trying to to have the message be to the young crowd that we got to get ahead of these problems. That so many of your peers are, they're just making bad college choices and getting into all
Mm-hmm.
this debt, and they're just in such a hole that they're they may never get out, but they're trying to dig out during their 20s instead of saving and compounding in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So with the compounding, like I don't get too into the math. I realize that people will tune out, even though I'm, engineer analyst. I'm a math guy. But I give them enough math to realize, wow, the power of compounding is really incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world. And, so a few simple examples show them how money can really grow if you start early. So I try to get them
Mm-hmm.
excited too. It's hard to be an engineer and to be a motivational speaker at the same
Yeah.
time. It
It
doesn't
is
quite go.
possible. I'm a physicist by training,
Please.
so yes. We can change. So, but yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense because it is those lifestyle habits that it's so easy to change when you're younger, but as you get older and then more in set and in debt,
Right.
that you just can't work your way out of it. And
Yeah, and you said lifestyle, and I think that's so much of what my framework is really all about. I really don't like budgets. I even go into depth why I think they're too tedious and fail. But
mm,
to me, financial literacy is not a budget. It's not a lot about the math. It is that lifestyle. It's a choice. It's just a
hmm,
daily lifestyle choice.
hmm.
And I try to get that really surprisingly simple message across. And it's more of a motivating message then that you can
Oh,
do this. You can
definitely.
just choose to do it. And it is
Mm-hmm.
a daily lifestyle. It's constant decisions every day. And that's why
Yeah,
it's so well suited for your audience because
it
homeschool
is.
families are
Mm-hmm.
so far ahead of the curve because they're better at having that family conversation already
Mm-hmm.
on a daily basis. So
Right.
that's why